they like played straight for 10 or 12 hours. And it's like, some people do that. And I was just responding. I was like, you know what? I do this for a living, and I can't do 12-hour shifts. And I'll tell you what, if you go back to when my channel first got monetized, like 2 years ago, I did some 12-hour streams, and I quit doing them after a couple of months of trying them. And the reason is because, first, my ass goes numb after sitting here for 12 hours, and two, my eyes can't take it. Like, I start getting like full on like eye fatigue. And what I noticed last year or 2 years ago was that in order for me to do a 12-hour stream, I take naps all the time. Like, I can't sit here for 12 hours. So usually I stream for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Lately, I've been trying to do 3-hour streams this year because I am trying to promote my streaming presence, because I still make the vast majority of my revenue comes from YouTube in the form of advertising revenue. I do make, it just depends on the month, a few $100s a month from Twitch and YouTube memberships, donations, all that stuff, subscriptions, and combined with the Patreon. So, memberships, subscriptions, donations, that's a few $100s a month, but the like 85% of my revenue comes from advertising revenue. And, trying to build up the streaming, you're supposed to stream for 3 to 4 hours. That's great. But 12 hours is ridiculous. One thing I noticed when I was trying to do 12 hours a couple years ago is I would get such bad eye fatigue, and I would have to drink like loads of coffee to stay awake for that long. And my left eye, and specifically my left eyebrow, started uncontrollably twitching. Like it just wouldn't stop because it was just eye fatigue. And so it was like I'd be sitting here and all of a sudden the left eyebrow would just start and it would go on for like 2 days when I pushed that hard. So yeah, screw that. Guys like Co-Carnage, Dr. Disrespect, etc., doing 8-hour streams, that's great. At least Co-Carnage breaks it up. He'll do 4 hours, take a lunch break, come back and do another 4 hours. I could do that, and I've done that a few times. Like even like yesterday, I did an early morning stream for 2 hours, took a nap, did some work, came back, did a 3-hour stream, took a nap, came back, did another 2-hour stream in the evening. So I broke it up into 3 streams, and I did about 8 hours of streaming yesterday. I can do it in those chunks, or doing 4, break 4. That would be fine. But 12 hours is ridiculous. Even if, like if you're Dr. Disrespect, and you're getting, those guys are, you've got 50,000, 30,000, 50,000 people watching your stream, and you're making $5,000, $6,000 every time you sit down to do a stream, sure, the motivation of cash is there to push you past your physical fatigue. But I'm old. Those guys are younger. I'm like 10 years older than Co-Carnage or Dr. Disrespect. I'm in my mid-40s. Those guys are in their mid-30s. I'm about 3 hours is about the time when my butt starts to tell me, dude, no matter how much you move around in your chair, your ass cheeks are going to go numb, And then just my eye fatigue is like, I just don't feel the need to push beyond 3 or 4 hours. Now, I will say this. When I get to the point where I'm pushing those kind of numbers from the live streams, I'll probably be more motivated to stay live longer. And I've been very forthcoming with people about this in the past. When I'm streaming games that no one watches and there's only like 8 people watching a stream, I will not stream for more than an hour and a half when there's only 8 people watching. But when we've got 25, 30, 40 people watching, I'm happy to push all the way to 3 hours. But I very rarely go beyond 3 hours anymore unless one of two things happens. If there's more than 30 people watching the stream, I will push to 4 hours max. But that's about the only time I'll go beyond 3 hours. Or if we're having a day where people are... And by the way, this is not me telling everybody to do this. I'm giving you an example. We've had days when people come in and they're super generous with like super chats and donations and all that stuff. And if I'm raising money and we've raised $100 or something for a stream, then I'll generally be happy to push beyond the 3 hour mark. But for the most part, 3 hours is my cutoff because it's not financially viable to me because I make more money doing video uploads than I do live streaming. So it's just from a financial standpoint, it just makes more sense to go make videos, to do the guides, the ultimate beginner's guides and all those things.